Good day, everybody. Welcome to ALC. My name is Manny, and today we're going to be going through penny stocks. I love penny stocks. They're very affordable, very cheap. The risk is low when you're investing in these kinds of stocks as opposed to stocks that cost maybe 100 or 200 rands. So these are the penny stocks from the JSE in the real estate sector, obviously the property development sector, making malls or warehouses or residential properties, these types of companies. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go through the best 5 performing real estate stocks that are still penny stocks or that are penny stocks, meaning they cost less than 5 rands each. So let's get to it. Now, guys, one thing about real estate companies or property development and investment companies is that they make their money differently from normal companies. These guys make their money through rent, basically. That's where the revenue comes from. Those of you who pay rent will know what I'm talking about. So, basically, they don't have the normal revenue minus cost of goods sold when you're looking at their income statement. As you can see, this one that I'm showing you right here for Robosis, they basically make money from investment property. And then they have something very specific to their income statements called changes in value and impairments. Basically, at the end of every year, all their investments, all their property has to be revalued, and that affects how much they get to say they've made or lost, throughout the financial year. So, having said that, let's get to it. Um, All right, guys. So the first company on this list, which has the highest gain since January in terms of its share price in the real estate sector, is Texton Property Fund Limited. These guys' share price has grown 117% since January. They were at 1 Rand 75 in January and they're now on 3 Rand 80 cents per share. That's a pretty big jump. The thing about it, like I said earlier on, is you have to look at their income statements if you want to see, are these guys actually profitable? And when you look at Texton Property Fund, these guys haven't made yeah, 3 years ago, that's the last time they made money. 305 million, a big profit. That was in 2017. They haven't made profit ever since 2018, 2019, 2020. They've been making losses. So like I said, look at the income statements and learn how these guys make money so you can see, are these guys a good hit or not. The second company on my list now, guys, is Rebosis Property Fund Limited. These guys had a nice little jump in their share price. It was a 45 percent jump from January till now in June. They started at 20 cents per share in January. They're now about 29 cents per share. Like I said, very, very affordable shares or stocks that you can actually invest in. And these guys made a nice 108 million profit in 2020. Like I said before, have a look at the history of the way these guys are making profits. It's not just shares. You want to be able to know that the company behind the shares are doing a very, very good job. Okay? Yeah. Now, the third company that actually is on my list is CalGrow M3. CalGrow M3. Once again, a nice little jump in their share price. It went from 2 Rand 20 cents to 3 Rands, as in from January till now. That's about 36% jump in their share price. But what I really like about CalGrow is that they've been profitable. So these guys I mentioned before, Rebosis, they made a bit of a loss in 2019, even though they made a profit in 2020. But CalGrow M3 has been making a profit ever since 2016, as far as I could see on their annual reports. Profit after profit after profit. You want that type of company you're going to invest in. These guys made an 18.9 million Rand profit last year. That was at the end of their financial year, it ended in February. So yeah, CalGrow M3, I'm a good fan of those guys. I'm a real fan of those guys. Now, the fourth company that I'm actually looking at on my list is Tower Property Fund Limited. Now, these guys also a 36% jump in their share price. They started at about 2 Rand 64 cents in January, and now they're at about 3 Rand 60 cents in June. But they made a big loss in 2020, about 414 million Rand loss in 2020, compared to a 310 million profit in 2019. Now, what I said before was that these companies operate differently from your normal companies. And one thing that does affect their profit or their losses for the year is how much their property is revaluated. So every single property company has to reevaluate their assets, their property assets or their property investments, and that actually affects that figure now comes in, either gets added if it's a nice positive figure or deducted if it's a negative figure, obviously. And that's what affects their profits at the end of the year. So like I did say, one thing you want to look at is have a look at their profits before they've done the reevaluation of their investment property and see, are they still making money from rent? You don't want to invest in a company that owns buildings that nobody's renting out, empty malls or empty warehouses. You want to do your research properly and this type of thing. So yeah, Tower Property Fund, huge loss, but they were profitable the year before. So we want to look, how do I say, we want to be positive or optimistic about them for the upcoming year. And a 36% jump in the share price is really impressive. Now, the last company is SACorp Real Estate Limited. Now, these guys, 34% jump in the share price. Yes, impressive. They were 1 Rand 64 in January. They're now 2 Rand 20 cents right now. But they made a 1.5 billion Rand loss in 2020. Huge, big, compared to a 252 million profit in 2019. And like I said, revaluation of their assets that affected their bottom line. But yeah, that is my final list of my 5 stocks to look at. So these 5 companies have the best performing share prices on the JSE right now in the real estate sector and having penny stock prices. So have a look at them. Have do your own research if you want to do them. But like I said, I'm a big fan of Cargo M3. They have like a nice little profit line behind the share prices. But anyway, like I said before, subscribe to our channel, follow us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram, click register. You can read the full article below on our website and get involved, get knowledgeable on the issues, learn how investment works like this. Thank you so much for joining me and have a lovely day.